I would like to reflect with you for a few moments on the situation of our Catholic schools today. May I begin by reading these couple of sentences. One must recognise that more than ever before, a Catholic school's job is infinitely more difficult, more complex, since this is a time when Christianity demands to be clothed in fresh garments, when all manner of changes have been introduced into the church and in secular life, and when in particular a secularist mentality dominates and the Christian gospel is increasingly pushed to the margins. Now, those words were written over 30 years ago, but nevertheless, they still ring true. We do live in changing times and in times in which the voice of Christian belief is sometimes marginalized just because it is the voice of religious belief. But there are other things in the situations that we face today that we need to keep in mind. Who cannot think of little baby P, or of the teenager in Derby who threw himself off the roof of a multi-storey car park, being taunted by others? There are these deep flaws in society which come painfully evident in moments like that. And then too, we have this sense of being a bit in the wilderness, not always recognizing our surroundings as we used to, not being part of a society that's homogeneous. We seem to be facing new crises, new difficulties, new neighbours, new challenges all the time. And that's not even to start to talk about the credit crunch and the financial difficulties that we are in the developed world. So in all of these situations, the challenge facing Catholic schools is as important and as vital as ever. Of course it's right that government tries to come up with regulations and with initiatives to address all of these issues. We play our part in that, but we've got something else and something much more important to offer, as you well know. And what we want to offer, in essence, is the person of Christ, the person of Jesus, in whom we find out the truth about ourselves, the truth about how to live together, and the truth about God, who is our origin and our destiny. Now that's why we say Christ is at the centre of every school. And that's not to do simply with the RE course. It's to do with how we encourage youngsters and each other on the staff to see Christ as the centre of our lives. To see that here in a school we can unfold for each other what it means to trust him, what it means to try and follow his teachings as explained for us in the life of the church, what it means to be in a relationship with him, what it means to have the stability that we have as a school based on him at the centre. A Catholic school is a school struggling to be a Christian community. It's got to be a good school, and it's got to be struggling to be a Christian community. Then its youngsters will leave with a confidence that is well rooted. Then they will leave with an ability to make judgments which is sound. Then they will leave with a generosity of spirit, which will mean they'll be willing to contribute to the wider good of society, not just out of expediency, not just tolerating their neighbours, but with a genuine commitment to the human project as fulfilled in Jesus our Lord. That's the great challenge of a Catholic school. That's your responsibility in the leadership of a Catholic school. And I want you to know you have my full support in every aspect of it. And thank you for all that you do.